Hi everyone, today I'm going to talk about one of the biggest challenges of our century, climate migration, using Ukraine as an example. Climate migration happens when people are forced to leave their homes because of environmental challenges, like floods, drought, wildfires, or rising sea levels. According to the World Bank, more than 200 million people would be displaced by 2050 if urgent action isn't taken. The problem is that unlike war refugees, climate migrants are not fully protected under international law, leaving millions without rights or support. The international legal framework does include important climate agreements like the Kyoto Protocol, the Paris Agreement, and the discussions in COP23. These treaties focus on reducing emissions and supporting adaptation, but they were never designed to give legal protection to people displaced by climate change. The Paris Agreement recognized climate-related displacement through the Task Force on Displacement, but it has no binding rules. Kyoto set emission targets, and COP23 advanced dialogue on resilience, but none of them create clear pathways for climate migrants. This shows a major gap in global law that urgently needs to be addressed. Now an example. Ukraine's situation gives us a real-life example. During the war, the European Union applied a Temporary Protection Directive, which allowed millions of Ukrainian refugees to quickly access jobs, education, and healthcare. Around 85% integrated successfully within 6 months. This shows that with the right legal tools, large-scale migration can be managed effectively. That model can inspire how we handle climate displacement in the future. The proposal is to create an international climate migration compact with 3 main tiers. First, the regional monitoring centers to predict displacement before it happens, so countries can prepare instead of reacting in chaos. Second, standardized legal pathways that give climate migrants temporary protection and access to basic rights. And third, a global climate displacement fund financed by carbon pricing, where the biggest polluters contribute proportionally to support vulnerable communities and receiving countries. This way, responsibility is shared fairly across the international community. In conclusion, climate migration is not just an environmental issue, it's a human rights and security challenge that crosses borders. Ukraine proves that rapid large-scale migration can be handled if legal pathways exist. By extending this model globally, the compact will give dignity and protection to millions of future climate migrants, reduce costs through planning, and promote stability through cooperation. Finally, it turns a global threat into a manageable challenge with benefits for both migrants and host societies.